I'm doing this in one take. It is way too hot to be wearing this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You may be asking yourself, Ryan, why are you dressed like that? Well, I will answer that right now. 1. No, I am not a femboy, despite the fact I am wearing this outfit. 2. Am I going for the worst Sayori cosplay ever? No, but it's practically there, and I will take my trophy when given. 3. I am wearing this because today I am celebrating the 6th anniversary of Doki Doki Literature Club. The game came out on the 22nd of September 2017, and despite what it may look like, I wasn't actually part of the fan base that many years ago. My first experience with the game was in 2021, ironically, on Valentine's Day. Me and my friends said we couldn't talk to actual women because we were in the middle of a pandemic and a lockdown, so we decided to talk to virtual women. I mean, if we could talk to real women anyway, we couldn't because we're scared, but you get the picture. We heard of this viral game that went popular a few years back called Doki Doki Literature Club. We thought, why not check it out? We downloaded the game on Steam, played through it the first day on Valentine's Day, and I didn't actually finish the first act that day. I just thought it was a very calm, casual, fun poem writing activity-filled game. The second time I played, all hell broke loose. Anyway, on our third playthrough of the game, that's when me and my friend finished it. However, I wasn't satisfied. Not fully. I went back and replayed the game and I got all of the CGs, talked to all of them in the same playthrough, then went through the end and I got the somewhat more happier ending. However, I still wasn't satisfied. I reinstalled the game, deleted Monica's character file, and then saw probably the hidden ending, which is probably more shocking than the end of Act 1 in some regards. But yeah, I played the original DDLC as often as I could to like just find the smallest bits of secrets and stuff within the game and just seeing what changes happens on different playthroughs or different scenarios of what you choose to do, what time you play. Pretty much, I wanted to see all this game had. And I did. But then I discovered something more. I am actually going to die of heat stroke in a minute. This is unruly. You see, with every popular IP, there is always one word that follows it. That is community. Every game has a community, I would say. It's where a bunch of people are very fond of this said game or IP, and they just make fan art, projects, and just talk about the game to their heart's content. The DDLC community has made hundreds upon hundreds of mods. Some of them go from short to long, from just happy, goofy, shitpost humour to long, dramatic storytelling. And it is mad to think that some of these mods just stem from one or two people making something goofy for the fandom to enjoy, to full-scale game teams making these. Like, you've got full, like, game designers and playtesters and music creators and art designers all collaborating at once just to make a fan mod for a 5 to 6 year old viral game. It blows my mind. Some people view communities as rather toxic or chill or vice versa, like I stated before. But my personal opinion, I think the DDLC community is one of the most chill back, faithful communities for any game I've ever seen. Just the amount of passion and willpower people put into some of these mods and just like their own projects in general for a fan creation is baffling. You see these full-scale like visual novels being pumped out on Steam all the time and people putting the same amount of passion and effort into a fan mod. And these are free. They're not getting paid for this. These are free mods that you can download at whim for a free game already. What? Anyway, enough talk. Here's the main purpose of this video. I'm going to be going over to the computer in just a second, and I will be ranking 35 mods I have played in the last 2.5 years I've been playing this game. 35 may not seem like a lot of time, but there's some stretches between when I play mods. I don't play them religiously as much as I used to, but yeah. So I will explain more in the chair because I am physically dying. You'll probably see my face sweating so much trying to record all this bit. And this is unscripted, by the way, if you couldn't tell. Very unscripted, so if what I've just said, half of it doesn't make sense, apologies. Alright, without further ado, let's rank these Doki mods. As you can see, we're at the desk right now, and I have not taken off a costume apart from a blazer, because I am doing a DDLC video, I'm going to dress for the occasion, and god damn it if I'm going to be beaten by a big ball of fire. Anyway, so, let's start the list. DDLC Another Moment With You. I love this one. It's unfortunate because this mod isn't finished, but I remembered really enjoying the first 3 parts, and it's a weird structure, it's episodic. And part 1 starts with Sayori, part 2 is Yuri, and part 3 is Natsuki, I'm pretty sure. It's weird because in episode 1 you spend every day with Sayori, but in episode 2 and 3 you also spend all day with Yuri and Natsuki. So I think it kind of works as in, like, you hang out with each of them on the day, but you only ever see what you're doing with that specific character. It's weird to explain, but it worked really well for that mod, and I'm really upset because it's still not finished. No, I'm not saying I'm upset with the creator or anything. Take all the time you need if you are actually going to finish this mod, but I highly enjoy it very much so. I follow them on Discord, I think, the creator, when they post updates, but I haven't actually looked or checked too much yet. Episode 4 could be out now and I don't even know about it. But it's not finished yet, so I'm not going to put it in S, but I thoroughly enjoyed the first 3 episodes, so I'm going to put it in A. A good high A. Doki Doki After School Demo. This one was promising. It was actually really promising. Showed like the MC coming back after a few years where they've all like gone their separate ways, and they only meet Sayori. You see the silhouettes of what the other 3 are meant to look like, but you only see Sayori, and she's working in like a cafe or something, and then you go for a pint with her on the night, and speaking from a British man with Irish blood, going for a pint is the best way to spend your day. So that would have been promising, but it was only like half an hour long demo, so it's upsetting that it got cancelled, but it's a solid B. It looked promising. Doki Doki Another World. This one was a pain to find the image for, and I mean a pain to find the image for, because if you put in Another World, you get completely different mods, and I swear there's only one video of a guy playing through it. But I vaguely remember it for one reason only, and that is like the goofy looking CG with Yuri looking down at the player as he's going back into the real world. Nothing against the guys, but it looked kind of goofy to me, and it's the only reason I remember Another World. It's not a bad mod, it's just a little forgettable, in my opinion. So you play as a real human, and you end up just getting sucked into the game's world, and from there you have to, like, you know what the game's about. So it's actually a little interesting, but it's still like DDLC at the end of the day, and you just have to kind of play along with it. But the character knows what's about to happen. It had a weird ending as well, I think as well. I'm sorry, I just forgot a lot about it, honestly, but I remember it being good. Enjoyable, at least, anyway. So I'm not sure where to put it. I'm thinking a high C or a low B. I'll put it in B for now. Why not? Doki Doki Behind Closed Doors. Or I do not know what this fucking mod's problem is, but why, when I downloaded a file for this, I come with about 6 separate episodes, and I swear the last one was just called The Epilogue, where it was all like a staged like TV show or something. What? Anyway, this was a pain to like install half the episodes for, but I also just found it really confusing. Like things would like shift like completely out of character. Like one minute you'd see the MC's point of view, then you'd see Natsuki's, then you'd see Natsuki's dad's, I think, then you'd see Monika's hanging out with his other random person, and it's meant to be this dramatic Natsuki story. Oh, trust me, I've played the dramatic Natsuki story, we're getting to that, but I never understood I think people liked this one a lot as well, and I never got behind it because it just felt like it was going off in about 7 different directions. It was somewhat made well. I'll put it in C. Doki Doki Clubtaker. This one's weird because while it is a Doki Doki Literature Club mod, it plays more like Helltaker, and I'm surprised that the file. I'm surprised you don't put the files into Helltaker more than you put them into DDLC, because it completely just changes the gameplay to Helltaker when you put the files into the DDLC thing. So it's actually interesting on how they managed to mod that one, but it's still cute. I like Helltaker a lot. And seeing like these other like students, like, well, you see the Dokis obviously, but you need like more than 4 girls in a Helltaker, so they use a bunch of fan OC characters, I think. So I kind of forgot the rest of them, but it's kind of goofy and funny seeing the DDLC characters in Helltaker. And I like the Helltaker gameplay a lot. I don't actually remember finishing it. I think I kind of gave up on like final boss. I gave up on the final boss, but that was because it was really late, and I kind of just thought I watched a video. I did watch a video. I think I watched Afro Zero, is his name. I think I watched him just finish it, and it was only like 5 minutes left. So yeah, I think it was spat everywhere. I think I watched him finish it. It only had like 5 minutes left or something. So yeah, it was all right. It was cute. I just don't remember too much about it, so I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna put a. Does it deserve to go above behind closed doors? This is Doki Mods, and that felt more like a Helltaker mod. I'll put it behind closed doors, even though I probably enjoyed that one a bit more. Dokis and Dragons. This one was kind of cute, experimental. I like how there were different endings as well. I swear you only had to like agree with like one of the other Dokis once to like talk to them near the end. But I can't actually remember a whole lot about it. I am going to pass out in a minute. Dokis and Dragons. I can't actually remember a lot. It was good. I just can't remember a whole lot about it. I should replay that one. It was cute seeing like the Dokis like playing Dungeons and Dragons, and the way it was modded was actually really cool as well, like with different sprites, like seeing trolls and stuff. But yeah, I think it was already really short, which is why I can't remember a whole lot about it. But I do remember a fair bit, and because of that, I'm putting it in between Another World and the After School demo. The After School demo was more promising, and I felt it could have been a really good mod if it went full force. And Another World, while interesting, kind of just lacked a little bit. That one had promise, but I think it was a little too short. But I remember that one having a bit more uniqueness to it than Another World. Doki Doki Hell's Kitchen. This is one of the shitpost ones I was talking about. This is like not even 5 minutes long. It's like 2 minutes long, and it's essentially like Gordon Ramsay voice clips where he's shouting at the Dokis because they're cooking shit or something. And then in the final, it's like Gordon's in the space classroom or something. It's fucking weird. It's goofy and funny though. I mean, it's funny to show someone like as a shitpost, but that's all it really is, a shitpost. It's not bad, but you can tell it's just made for shits and giggles. I'm putting it below Clubtaker. It's still fairly memorable. MC's Revenge. I remember this one. I think it takes place just after Act 2. I think the mod takes place right after Act 2, and MC remembers everything, so you give him multiple choices to like try and stop Monica near the end. But I remember playing it, and I swear, what it wants you to do was really confusing, because I swear I chose every option, and I only got 2 endings, I think, out of a supposed 5, and I don't even remember seeing if there was a way to like bring back Sayori or something. I read that there was, but I swear there was meant to be 5 endings, or 7 endings or something, and I swear I only got 2, but I believed in my head I clicked every available option, so that one was really confusing. I should watch a video, really see someone else playing it, but I couldn't actually remember seeing many gameplay videos on that one. A lot of these are from like 2 years ago, so it cut me some slack. Yeah, MC's Revenge is interesting. I just don't remember getting more than 2 endings because I feel like I chose every other option. Behind Hell's Kitchen. Meme Club. Another shitpost one. This one had a lot more effort put into it than Hell's Kitchen, I'd say. even though it is still just a shitpost one. I think this one, I'm not sure if it's actually introduced Buff Suki or just took the Buff Suki sprites and put her in there. But I remember a fair bit about it. I remember Principal Vince McMahon, and that's about it. So yeah, just above Hell's Kitchen. Oh dear, no. Don't make me talk about Rising Storm. I do not like Rising Storm a lot. I think it's just easier if I put Rising Storm in D now and explain. Actually, Rising Storm 2 is right there as well. Both of them. So, Rising Storm is about the MC going to war. You know how long the entire mod lasts? About 10 minutes. He says bye in like the first minute. He's like in the Vietnamese jungles for like 4 minutes. He comes back. Shenanigans ensue. And this is followed by crusty ass looking like background pictures. Multiple horrendous spelling mistakes. And I don't call myself a grammar, but I technically am. Am I allowed to say that? I'm going to censor that. I think you know what I meant anyway. But 2 is the same thing. I don't actually remember if he goes back or it's shown like his aftermath after the war in the first game. But again, it's like 20 minutes long and it's just so rushed. It's so rushed and like it's not trying to take anything in. I want to believe it's just a shitpost, but the amount of stuff in there does not make it feel like a shitpost. It baffles me. It baffles me. I don't want to really play it again. I mean, if you want to see a hysterically bad mod, no offense to the creator, but if you want to see hysterically bad mod, in my opinion, play Rising Storm 1 and 2. Exit music. Right. We're on an exit music trilogy here. Alright, the first exit music. I don't know how I feel. Comparing it to Redux, it's few and far between, because it had some promising things, but I felt like a lot of it was also not needed and rushed. Like, the last hour or so with Yuri being like a villain, I was like, do you really need that? Come on. That's where I think Redux actually fixed that a little bit. But Redux also had its own issues along the way. I did enjoy a fair bit of exit music, honestly, but not massively. I like the soundtrack a lot. I think if I'm going to give it any props, the soundtrack is really good for the few tracks that were in there. But exit music, where should I put them? I'd say it's like one of the mods people think about for DDLC. I don't like it as much as Another Moment with You, but I'd say it's more memorable than anything in B tier. I'd say exit music is one of the most memorable mods, despite your thoughts about it. Exit music Redux. This fixed a lot of issues, but also changed a lot of things I actually liked about the original. Like the way Natsuki goes to the MC's house and stuff. And also, like, near the ending, I felt like they were trying to be, like, way more dramatic and, like, over the top about it. It's just weird. And, like, they also don't make Yuri or any other Dokis or villains. They change that, weirdly enough. They just make Monica a little bit more insufferable. Like, before she treats Sayori or something. Like, that was one of the most unneeded scenes in any DDLC mod I had ever seen. I couldn't look at the screen. I physically had to look down and just read the text boxes, because that used like the latest like facial expressions mods, where a certain time after the mods started doing it, people made like more unique expressions for them. And Exit Music Redux used that, as well as a lot of original art. The original art actually looked nice. The soundtrack again was also really good. But the story just kind of tilted itself a little bit, so I can't really say I like it more or less than the original Exit Music. I'd just say it's like an alternative version. Also, there's the demo. I don't even know why I added the demo. It's basically the first chapter of Redux, but like beta version. And I can't even remember if I remember a few differences, but I can't actually remember what they were off the top of my head. I think there were a few differences between the first chapter of the demo and the final version. It's still an enjoyable time. I guess I'll put it in a B. Behind, yeah, the end of B. At least I can say those ones. That's just the demo. That's the final version. Those, like, at least, I'd say After School was more promising, considering that one's just taking on from an already popular mod. But yeah, do I want to put Exit Music Redux above the original or not? I'm not too sure. I'd say for as not as interesting. I'd say for the random appearances Yuri as a villain, I'd say I'd rather read through that than fucking making Monica like this really obnoxious person when Sayori comes back to the literature club. That scene was unwatchable for me, as I stated before. I'm not going to go over it again, just repeat myself, but I'm going to put the original Exit Music just a bit above. And if it weren't for that one, we wouldn't even have Redux in general. So, yeah, Exit Music 1 original is better than the Redux version. By small fragments. Doki Doki Fallen Angel. This opinion might upset a few, but I am going to stick with this till my grave. Doki Doki Fallen Angel is Exit Music, but good. S tier. I shouldn't have to say more, but I will, because I have to talk about my opinions with these. Fallen Angel is basically the Yuri equivalent to Exit Music in my opinion, but I believe it's much better well written, much better played out. The events that happen over the set amount of time actually take time to dive deep into these characters. You learn a lot about them. I will say Monica being this random villain, I think she was blackmailing Yuri, was a little bit stupid, but it's I remembered loving it, and I still love it to this day. It's one I've actually really wanted to go back and replay through. And the ending is just, it's like if Exit Music's ending was just better. Exit Music felt like it was trying to be too edgy, really hard, but it just came across as really edgy. Fallen Angel is probably one of the most melancholy, beautiful endings I've ever seen to just a story in general. It's heartwarming, honestly, near the end, but as of right now, S tier for Fallen Angel. That is probably my favourite mod so far in this tier list. I don't know if anything can beat it just yet. Doki Doki Isolation. This is a weird one. I forgot the crew made this. Oh, what's the team called? Hang on, give me a minute. Okay, I did a bit of snooping and I found out they are called the Just Monica team. They are on Discord. They have a Discord if you would like to follow them. And they are fairly friendly. They keep updated with the projects and stuff. And just checking the Discord right there and then, the one I'm going over right now, there is a deluxe version of it ready to download. It was available sometime this year, but I am looking at Doki Doki Isolation. I believe what I had was called Chapter 1. And this was a very unique mod, from what I can remember. So, the MC and Monica were childhood buddies or something, but the entire school or town's under some government security eye or something. It's basically George Orwell's 1984. Is probably one way of putting it, but they all still go to school. You see your Yuri and your Natsuki and your Sayori, all there still. But I believe the other students are getting tested on, and I don't know if the main MC has some brain problem because he can hear this noise, a sonic pitch, and it makes him pass out or something. I don't really remember or know a whole lot. I just remember it being fairly unique, and that's all I can say, really. I don't actually remember too much about it. I just remember having a really out there, outlandish story. But apart from that, not a whole lot else. It was still good. The production quality on it was really, really good. But I just don't remember anyone apart from the main characters. There was other, like, OC students, like there was for, which one did we talk about? I had the, like the other OCs in. Clubtaker. Clubtaker had the other OCs in, and this one does as well. But Isolation, I can't remember a whole lot about it. It was interesting, and I would probably go back and play it more than behind closed doors. So I'd probably put it just about here. Just after Another World, but very close to Another World, because I might see if that one is rememberable as I remember it. And apparently that is not very, because I don't remember much about it, apart from the funny Yuri image. Doki Doki Banzai. Now, this one's funny because that is the first ever mod I downloaded and played, I'm pretty sure. Doki Doki or Doki Haika Bonsai was my first mod I ever played, funnily enough. Can't remember too much. I do believe it was a shitpost. It was just a shitpost mod. But they show them in like this Japanese war or Vietnam war, and Sayori, I think, is made to be this kamikaze pilot. MC and Yuri escape. It was a stupid shitpost mod, but my fucking Christ, it was funny for 17-year-old Ryan to watch unfold. But I haven't played it in a while, as I said. Probably the first mod I ever played, so roughly 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago, probably. But yeah, I remember it fairly fondly, and if it wasn't for that mod, I probably wouldn't have played half of these. So you're stupid, but I'll give you a fairly high C. Me and you, which... Oh my god! Oh my god! Just a Sayori and MC mod, that one. Good bit of chemistry, a little too much chemistry. Probably a little shorter. Probably can get through it within an hour or so. C, yeah. Just put in C. Stop talking about that one. Let's go to one most people know. This is one of the most popular mods, I would say. Blue Skies. I liked Blue Skies when I first played it. I really liked Blue Skies. But as the years have gone on, I kind of just like forget about it little by little. If I give my quick thoughts on it right now, I'd say the Sayori was probably the best. Yuri was rather just a bit better or a close second. And I felt like the Natsuki one was just lacking quite a bit. For some reason, Yuri and Sayori have pretty much a good ending and a bad ending, which is fair enough, but Natsuki also has a good ending and a bad ending, but also two mediocre endings, not mediocre, melancholy endings, which is slightly melancholy and slightly less melancholy. I don't know why she had 4 routes, but I don't know why she had 4 routes and Monica didn't have anything in that game. It's a real confusion one, that, but it's a really memorable mod, all things considered. I just think the more I look back on it, the more things I kind of look back and think, maybe that wasn't as great as a choice. I did like seeing how everything took place over a year, though, to be fair. Like, you see a Halloween scene, you see a Christmas scene, you see a lot of scenes, and the story progresses at a very, like, nice pace, pretty much. It doesn't feel like it goes along too quickly or it slows down, I'd say. It flows well, that's what I'm trying to say. I'd say some of the Natsuki scenes kind of stretched out a little bit longer than they needed to, but it's still aight. It's still aight. Probably the best aspect about it was the soundtrack. I believe the entire soundtrack to Blue Skies consists of like 30 minutes worth of music, 35 tracks. Not sure it's 35 minutes actually. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if the soundtrack was like an hour long at least. But 35 or 34, it's in my 30s. That's how many tracks that mod has for its soundtrack, and that is an accomplishment. Also, when you do complete the mod, you are given actually, I think I can't remember if they're just available to play right at the beginning, or you have to complete all the other characters, at least good endings, I'd say. But you can see the scrapped moniker routes, and it's unfortunate to see, because if you're gonna go that far and give every character a route, the fact that you kind of scrap the moniker one is a bit upsetting. And from what was shown, what you can actually play and see, I'd say it would have been another really good mod. I'd say what I played for the scrap moniker version was better than what I experienced during the Natsuki one. Hell, maybe better than the Sayori and Yuri one, but it's been a while since I've played Blue Skies. And there's a lot of things I remember liking about it. There's also a lot of things that kind of fade a little bit. But for what it is, it still stands as probably one of the most popular and good mods. Do I put it above? Do I find it worthy of S? It is a finished mod, unlike Another Moment with You. But I don't know. I'm gonna put it there for now. Doki Doki Meme Club Part 2. Right. I don't remember a lot of this one either. I think they turned into dragons in that one? I can't remember for sure. I think they turned into fucking dragons. Or kaiju monsters or something. It was goofy. It made me chuckle a little bit, but it's not as memorable as... I don't find it memorable as Hell's Kitchen or the first one. At least a lot for the first one. I wouldn't say it has more of an interesting concept than MC's Revenge. We're going to ignore that one, and anything on this is pretty much better than Rising Storm 1 or 2. So I'm going to put it there. This is fucking one. This bugger. Dokis don't wear ties. I don't genuinely know where to put you. You are definitely going in D tier. But are you worse or better than Rising Storm? It's like comparing like two pieces of shit. It's like comparing bullshit and cow shit. They're pretty much the same thing. If you don't know what Dokis Don't Wear Ties is, it's a parody of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, which is a horrendous Sega CD game. I'm pretty sure it was Sega CD. If you want a good video about it, I'd recommend the AVGN episode. I'm a video game nerd. But there's also different playthroughs, like only players went through it. But it's not good. The game itself is not good, and you'd think, with it being a mod, they'd try and make it goofier, they'd make it a bit funnier, and you'd think with it being a DDLC mod, it would at least run better. But I remember half of that mod not, like, acting exactly like the game. That was probably intentional. It was probably intentional for it to run exactly like the original one. But just because you're parodying something doesn't make you better or good in that way. You're just making the same thing. But now I'm slightly more disappointed, because you could have made it somewhat slightly good, or whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, you were made for a you are technically a shitpost. I can tell you were more of a shitpost than the other one, but it felt like you also had a lot of assets you worked with, so I still don't even know if it was a shitpost or was it just a genuine attempt to recreate Plumbers Don't Wear Ties with Dokis. Also, Matt Pat's in it, or Pat Matt, whatever he was called. He's the creepy business dude. Also, they're not called Sayori, and I don't think for Sayori and MC, I think it's the actual character's name from Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Forgot their names, because I have a brain. I only keep important stuff in there. Like Fallen Angel. I'll put you above Rising Storm, I think. I'm going with above Rising Storm. At least I vaguely remember it. Salvation. I'm kind of lying and cheating a little bit with this one. You see, I have not played Salvation. Before you start raising your pitchforks at me, I have watched all of it. I watched the Kane manga playthrough of this mod. Back when he first started uploading it. I can't actually remember how long ago it was. But he had the first part up for about like a few days, maybe a week. And I watched it and I just followed that entire playthrough series on because it was pretty much a daily series, I think. And while I said Doki stupid name, Doki Banzai was the first mod I played, Salvation was technically the first mod I experienced. I haven't played it. I will happily play it through with someone who is interested in watching the Salvation story, because I know it. But I know a few people who haven't. If they'd be interested in playing through it again. What do you mean again? If they'd be interested in playing through it, I'll happily sit there and play through with them. But if it wasn't for Salvation, I would not have gotten to the mods in general. I probably wouldn't have downloaded Banzai, surprisingly. But Salvation, very nice story. You catch Sayori pretty much at the end of Act 1 before she actually does the thing. And yeah, it goes on from there, and it's Monica going more crazy. There's just different. It's very slice of life. I feel like a very slice of life anime with a very dark tone hidden in there somewhere. So I'm gonna easily put that an S. I don't think I like it as much as Fallen Angel, but I highly remember Salvation a lot for what it, and the fact it showed me the world of Doki mods. I did not know any of these mods existed before I watched the Salvation playthrough, so thank you Salvation, and thank you Kane Manga for who did the playthrough of what I watched for that one. Starry Eyed. I played through this one on my Vita. Yeah, you can actually install DDLC on a PlayStation Vita, fun enough. And yeah, I played through Starry Eyed on it. It's a short mod, it's roughly about an hour, but I think the most interesting thing about that mod was that I played it on the Vita. But as of the mod itself, it's alright, it's fine. So you're pretty much in a very happy relationship with Sayori, but other club members keep kind of getting in the way, and apparently there was a plan by all three of them to try and break you and Sayori up, so one of them could go out with the MC. But then they're all like, we know what we did was wrong, let's go apologise to Sayori. And then they apologise to Sayori, and everything's all good. We go up for milkshakes or some shit. What? There was no point to that. There was no point there whatsoever. I mean, it was a fine mod. It looked nice. It ran well. There were some decent background images, art, whatever. I'm losing my fucking mind now. There was some good stuff to it, pretty much. That's all I can say. There was some good stuff to it, but it just felt like it didn't have a point, and everything's just wrapped up so quickly. I'll put it in B, it's fine. I'd say if it's someone's first mod, it's worth looking out for, but it didn't leave too much of an imprint on me. Doki Doki Steamed Hams. I had to make that one because I don't think there's actually a full logo for the Steamed Hams mod I played. I don't know if there's others, actually, but the one I played was Monica going over to Natsuki's for... I can't remember if it actually was a roast or it was cupcakes or something, but it's steamed hams. We all know what steamed hams is. It's that, but with Monica and Natsuki, and it's fucking hysterical, so I'm putting it there. Look, I'm all for shitposts, man, but there's something special about Simpsons shitposts. It's something funny about seeing Natsuki and Monica acting out steamed hams that just makes me grin from ear to ear. Whereabouts I would put it? Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm so sorry to the creator of another world. The Literature Club is dying. That's a fun one. I remember the Literature Club is dying. I also remember it being fairly short. But I think this was a shitpost one, but with like a nice little message. I think the message was that the fan base for DDLC was dying. And some guy made this mod, which pretty much references a ton of different mods. And that's it, all I remember. It just referenced a bunch of mods during, like, a little emotional speech Sayori gives. I only remember it lasted about 10 minutes. It was kind of cute, though, I mean, from his perspective. It was aight. I'll put it there. Not as ambitious as the Redux. I remember it more, and more fondly than Starry-Eyed. There. Doki Doki True World Demo. I remember this one. I think you're given like one choice, but it doesn't really make an impact because when you make the choice, the game pretty much ends because it's only a demo. And I think this got cancelled, but I've never seen anything about another True World version or anything come up about a True World mod. So pretty much the Dokis, it takes place at the end of the game. Monika's back and we're like, she's like, girls, I know I killed y'all, but I figured a way out for all of us. So then you all go out. The Dokis are in the real world. They meet up with the player who plays the game, the guy who plays the game, coming out of an office building or something. He's like, oh my god, you guys are the Dokas. And then they all go to his house. And that's where you all go to bed for the night. You wake up, and that's pretty much where it ends. It was interesting. It was definitely interesting, is what I'll say. As I said, it's a demo. I can't really go into much more detail about that. But I'd say it was it looked promising again. Like After School, not as interesting as After School, but it looked like it had some hope behind it. I'd say. I'm not sure, but it's definitely just a bit better or worse than Dokis and Dragons. I can't really judge Dokis and Dragons too much. That's like, I think that was like the very beta version of that mod, or it was the finished version of that mod for some time. That one didn't have a chance to shine as bright, but it also had a fairly promising idea. What would I prefer to see, them playing Dungeons and Dragons or the Dokis in the real world? I'd prefer to see the Dokis in the real world. Yeah, that's my ultimatum. Yeah, I choose that one. The Yuri Parable. I believe this mod was supposed to have 10 endings, like I think the actual Stanley Parable has, which is what this one's parodying. And it was interesting. It's pretty much Yuri alone in the club. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. She can just walk around the school and stuff. You're given the choices of what options to go wherever, stuff like that. And I've never actually played Stanley Parable, so I don't know how accurate it is as a representation of that. I just know it's like Monika talking over as like the narrator for Yuri, and you do play as Yuri, which is interesting. Yeah, there's not much else I fully remember about it. I don't even think I got all the endings either. I think I had like 8 maybe, or 6 or something. So I think I had another issue like MC's Revenge, where I tried to get multiple endings, but I felt like I chose all the options in all the available routes, but I just couldn't get them. So I'd say for like a first person Yuri interactive experience, it was interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I'm like 8 mods short. There's some mods that should be here. Alright, hang on a bit. Okay, I am back. Fun story. I thought I uploaded all the mods I've played to tier list maker. However, I only ranked 27 out of 35 I originally said. Turns out half the images just didn't go through. I don't know why. Pretty much all of them were PNGs. They weren't, like, might have been different sizes or whatever. I don't know. But only 27 of the folder of 35 I have been uploaded to TLS Maker. I can't put them into the TLS Maker without probably readjusting a whole bunch of bullshit. And truthfully, I just wanna get this all fully recorded so I can edit it in time for the 22nd. I want to get this done for the anniversary. So, we have 8 more mods. Don't you worry. ladies and germs, that because we have 8 more to go through, so buckle in. The first one we're going to be taking a look at, well, 28th one we're going to be taking a look at is Purist Mod. If I'm not mistaken, Purist Mod is the one where you start out with, or maybe you can mix and match between, you start out going with Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki, but then only then when you go through all of them 3, you can then choose Monika. So you have a complete new story, new route, and you get to see what it's like to hang out with all of them as if it were a pure visual novel, pretty much. That's the gimmick of this one. So you do for all 3 of them, but then it's still a DDLC one. So then when Monika sees that you actually care about these characters, you can play through it one last time and experience it with her. And it works. I think all 4 stories in that one were pretty nice. I think a couple of them may have went on a bit longer than I would have hoped, but overall, good mod. I would easily put it in S. More or less than Salvation. I just a bit before Salvation, I'd say. Just a bit. Right, second one we're going to be taking a look at. Rain Clouds. Now, this is a tragic mod. This is one of the saddest ones to read, in all honesty. Rain Clouds is pretty much the first, is like pretty much accurate DDLC. The official game. Only you see everything through the eyes and mind of Sayori. And you get to see everything she's thinking, everything she's feeling. You don't, obviously because the MC goes home at the end of every day, Sayori's actually friends with a clubmate. So I think you go to the movies with Natsuki, and Natsuki basically tells Sayori, I like him. And it's really baffling, honestly, because like you see everything she's thinking and feeling, like, you know, you can see that what she does, what she thinks she does is wrong, but she only wants to do it so she can be happy, and it's kind of heartbreaking. Yeah, I finally said it. There we go. Heartbreaking to actually go through and read, honestly, which is upsetting because it's really melancholy, and it ends exactly the way you'd expect Act 1 to end. The last, pretty much, like, last hour or so is spent with, like, hanging out with Monika until, like, she leaves, and then she's completely alone, and Monika's filling her heads with all the thoughts and through the console. It's tragic, but I'd say it's a very important mod for people to try out at least once. I would say, anyway. I'd say it's another S tier. I think it's above Salvation. I'd put that above Salvation. I can't just move Salvation back because I'm no longer in tier list maker, so I think the only way I can do this is by bullshitting. There we go. Swatted. It's the only one I can fix. I cannot do that to the other ones because they are too full to be pushed back and forth. So what's the next one? Longer Roads. Longer Roads was what I actually thought Purist was, but Longer Roads is in fact its own mod. This one's also pretty wild, but the fun thing about this one is that, you know, the mods I said had different endings, and a good few of them I haven't been able to get all the endings for. I got all the endings for Longer Roads, and my god, it took a while, but I did it. Pretty much was a bad and good ending for Sayori, I think it was a bad and good ending for Yuri, but I think for Monika and... Is it Monika? I can't actually remember. I remember 2 of the girls only having 2 endings, and hang on, those numbers don't make sense, hang on. There was a mix and match of endings. It may have been 10, it may have been 12 or something, but I remembered, like, some other characters having, like, 4 endings or something. I got all the endings, I'm pretty sure, that's all I remember. But, each branching path in each character in that one felt pretty solid. Can't remember if some of them, like, kind of felt a bit sluggish, similarly. I think Yuri had, like, this demon called Libertina, which is, like, the Easter eggs in the game files, like, watch the game theory or something if you're interested in that. Can't speak. But, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in these ones. and I thoroughly remembered enjoying it quite a lot. I feel bad because I keep moving Purist back. I'm sick of knocking this mic. I feel bad because I keep moving back Purist despite how good of a mod it is, but, like, the ones tier list wouldn't let me add were just, like, the good ones, apparently. Because I don't think anything else is going in D tier, at least. But the really good ones, tier list just didn't want me putting in there, apparently. But Longer Roads, it just had a lot more stuff in it. And I felt like everything that happened in that mod was, like, justified and, like, well received. I thoroughly enjoyed it anyway. For all I know, it's probably one of the most hated mods in the community. Anyway, Longer Roads, really good. Really good, Longer Roads. Next one, Dimensions. Now, this is probably one of the more sad mods there is. Not, like, sad as in rain clouds, but history-wise. Now, we've already seen a mod by these people on this tier list, and the same people who made Dimensions did Isolation. And if you played through Dimensions, you would have seen that there was a planned sequel which is now being scrapped, unfortunately. It was scrapped a year ago maybe now, but oh, it's sad to think what could have been, honestly, because it sounded interesting. And it also, at the end of Dimensions, you're given this code, so, like, it'll save all the choices you made, like, and when you input that in the sequel, it'll remember all the choices you made in the first one. That is baffling. Like I said earlier, DDLC modders, honestly, you know, you put too much passion into this, and I respect every single one of yous. Honestly, damn. People who make stuff like this, honestly, respect. But the Dimensions team tried, like, to make it massive, and I think it ended up being too big a project for them, so they kind of slowed down on it. We had to cancel it. It was too what's the word? Use another word I'm thinking of. It became too much, is, like, one way of putting it anyway. But I remember Dimensions very thoroughly. It was one of the definitely probably. Can I just make a normal sentence without adding bullshit to it? I'd say it's probably the most unique mod. I mean, we've seen Clubtaker, Dokis and Dragons. No, this is the most unique mod on this list. You go through multiple dimensions with all the DDLC characters and different clothings and costumes, and the way they act is different. There's a Mario 64 dimension. It's so much. There's so much in that one, and it's so jam-packed. And it's really cool. I think it's one of, like, as I said, it's definitely one of the most unique mods, the most unique mod in my opinion. But I'm trying to think. I definitely would put in A or S. I'm not too sure just yet. Let me do some thinking. I think I enjoyed Another Moment with You just a little more. I would say just in between Blue Skies and Another Moment with You. I remember Another Moment with You a bit more fondly, and I can't even remember if this one also had, like, a huge soundtrack as well. I don't think it's as memorable as Blue Skies, but Blue Skies' actual roots kind of. I don't mix that well. No, this is how much I'm torn on Blue Skies. I go back and forth between it all the time. So hopefully you're fine with me putting it better than Exit Music, which I think many people would be fair with. Yeah, that's this tier list is botched now, and I still have 4 more left, but let's continue. Doki Doki Vigilante. Right, this is a Persona Doki Doki Literature Club crossover, and I think it's made by I think it's made by the same guy who's done a lot of videos. DDLC. I think this is his mod, his creation. But I only played the first 2 chapters. I haven't actually finished this one. I played the first 2 chapters because I kind of played it as it released, and then Chapter 3 released, and I didn't really get around to that one because I was busy with college work and stuff. But I only played the first 2 chapters, and it was really good. It was well written, it was enjoyable. There was a lot to enjoy about Vigilante. So I'd also put this one in A. I'm going to leave it a bit behind Exit Music Redux. No offense, it could be much better than Redux and Exit Music, but I just haven't played it all yet, which is, it's my fault. It's my fault, definitely, but I remember this one being thoroughly very enjoyable and very well written. As I say, I just haven't finished it. But I like what I played of it, so when I finish it, I could easily put it above Exit Music, or hell, even Blue Skies or Dimensions. But as for now, I don't feel comfortable putting it above something, even because I haven't finished it. But yeah. Next one. One last. Oh, the feels are back. The feels are coming back. Damn. One last memory. This is also like a really short one. But my Christ, on a bike did this one like. This one probably was the closest of all of these that like made me like come to the verge of tears. Because I'm a big manly man. I don't get sad, I get pissed. So technically speaking, I just got extremely cross with this one because of how much it made me want to be a little bitch. But yeah. Enough of that. One last memory. I'd say it's gotta be like right next to Fallen Angel. Right next to Fallen Angel. Fallen Angel is a better like scale mod. I think it's a very nice, round up, well timed mod. This one's very short, but I think it's thoroughly beautiful from beginning to end. It's basically like if the events in DDLC were real. It's essentially just that, but Sayori is actually dead. She actually hung herself. Monica has no control over the world. It was just a sad foreseen incident. The MC is just, he's just trying to cope. And then it ends with this like fucking angelic version of Sayori just like giving him one last talk before she goes away for his man forever. It is bewildering. It is so thoroughly like heartbreaking, but beautifully melancholy at the same time. This is hard. This is really hard. I think with Fallen Angel just being a bit longer and being a more drawn out story, I think I'm going to leave Fallen Angel at number 1. For me, personally. The rest are really good, but I can't help myself. It's... Oh shit, I have to move Salvation! Ah! Right, I've done it as close as I can. They're a bit spread out, but I can't be bothered fixing it. Like, to be 1 for 1. Especially with fucking dimensions looking like that. I mean, just cope, okay? That's all we can do, cope. But yeah, it's a very close one between One Last Moment and Fallen Angel. I would say they are definitely 2 of my favourite DDLC mods I've ever played. Fallen Angel was just a more branched out story, where One Last Moment just felt like it was just trying to be a crowd pleaser. Like, hey, Sayori fans, wonder who those could be, but hey, Sayori fans, I have a little treat for you. And I assume at least every single Sayori fan ate that up, and because they're not horrible people like me, cried their eyes out at it for how technically beautiful it was. Well, it was beautiful to me, but as I said, I don't get sad, I get angry. Grr. 2 more, I believe. Storm. Will you stop making me put stuff in S tier? I haven't got much room left. Why? Why did tier list kick out all the S tier ones? I thought it was looking empty. I thought it was looking a bit dry in S tier, and I was like, I swear I played some good stuff. Storm, another fantastic mod. Another beautiful mod. Which is, I can't remember. Alright, that doesn't sound good. A beautiful mod, I can't remember. But I can't remember, like, every aspect of it. I just remember I really liked it. I can't remember if you see most of it through the MC. I think you do. But most of it is told from Yuri's perspective. And you're talking to Natsuki at the end, and when Natsuki was like, whoa. That's a way better ending than her ending up with the MC. And I think it's just the game, but you see it all from Yuri's perspective, and you see the thought she has at her home, and I believe it was a really, really strong mod. Honestly, I really liked that one a lot. If I had to place it on this scale, maybe just over Salvation, maybe just after Salvation, honestly. Anyway, Storm, I remember loving Storm. I remembered staying up till about fucking 4 AM finishing this one. So, I mean, I didn't have to be at work or college or anything to do it, but I remembered, that's how much I remembered Fallen Angel, loving Fallen Angel. I pretty much pulled an all-nighter. On a work night, I had like 3 or 4 hours of sleep left before I had to work at fucking 9 till 5 for Fallen Angel. But the story gripped me that much, and Storm gripped me so much it was like, no, I'm finishing this tonight. This is I need to see this through to the end, and I'm glad I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, Salvation, if I played through that one, maybe I might have had a bit more attachment to it, but I played through Storm all the way by myself, and I thoroughly enjoyed Doki Storm. You know, it's funny. I'm dressed like Sayori, because considering what's like the top 3 of S tier, you'd assume my favourite would be Yuri. It was a close second, but to each their own, eh? To each their own, yeah? Finally, we're here. Finally, here. The very last mod, and this is the last mod I played. This isn't the last mod I played, actually. I don't know what the last mod I played. I think it was Starry Eyed. I think the last mod I played through was Starry Eyed, yeah. But the last mod we're going to be taking a look at is Doki Doki Literature Club Abridged, or How I Learned to Start Worrying and Love to Mod. It's a mouthful, isn't it? It's just shortened to Doki Doki Abridged, and this is the shitpost of shitposts. Now, it is very clear the creator of this, well, I say it's very clear. If you played through the mod, you would have seen at the end that this guy actually has like an animated like video where he has like a voiceover with his like Doki OC going around the place, and he just hates this mod. I think he still hates this to this day. I'm not too sure, but in the video he's basically like, this was meant to take me a weekend, and what was meant to be a weekend shitpost has turned into a fucking 4-week or 4-month bullshit project which I've not been happy about making, and I am so sorry that you forced yourself to like go through something you were not happy with making, but just fucking know this creator of Doki Doki Abridged. I fucking loved it, and I am willing to say hundreds, if not thousands, of others fucking found this mod hysterical. You may have put yourself through some torture making this, but just think of all the happy smiles you've given to people. Because this is easily the funniest mod I've played. Like, I've talked about mods that I've found really emotional, found very dramatic, and I've loved them. If I'm talking about the funniest mod I've seen, Steamed Hams was just a shitpost, but it was just a rip-off of The Simpsons. Talking original fucking comedy, get abridged into fucking S tier, honestly, because that mod is peak. I found that mod very funny. Some of you may not find it as funny as I did, but we have different versions of humour. And Abridged, very, very funny for me anyway. It was just so out there, so outlandishly wild at places. And again, I'm sorry that you hated this mod, but I fucking love it. I highly love it a lot. if I'm going to rank it specific place on S, maybe just at the end, just a little bit. I think I remember these more dramatic mods. Maybe I feel so sorry for Purist being the first one I've looked at, because maybe just a bit after Purist, maybe just after Longer Roads, but I think Longer Roads with the multiple endings I remember a bit more fondly. Well, I stopped moving the bloody ha! And with that out of the way, I can pretty much say this is my Doki Doki mod tier list. Now, I wish I didn't look stupid in A rank. I wish Dimensions looked good. I wish Tier List Maker would let me do that properly, but it's not, so we're just going to have to cope. But yeah, I'm happy with that as of now. My tastes can change, like, now, but in small matters of time, basically. So I could easily change most of these opinions on the spot, but as of right now, I'm fairly happy with the way I've ranked it so far. I mean, like, right now I'm thinking, oh, should I switch Salvation and Rain Clouds around? Like, I genuinely am a very unsure person, which is one of the few reasons why I can't really go ahead and, like, do one of those ranking every episodes of something type video, like LS Mark or everyone else has done, because I'm constantly changing my opinions, like, thinking, but I like that, but I also like this a lot. And then it would be a hassle if I ever made something like that. But I'm a bit more comfortable with a tier list maker like this, especially because there's only 35 of them, and it's easy to just, like, swap around, like, on the spot while I'm giving my thoughts and opinions on said things. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you with this image. And if you watched this as a fan of the DDLC community and a fan who's played a lot of DDLC mods, let us know your opinion. You agree with me on some of these? You disagree? And if you're a fan of DDLC mods yourself, and if you played some of these, let me know in the comments. Do you agree on some of these opinions? Do you disagree with some of these opinions? Or do you rank some higher than others or some lower than others? Let me hear your thoughts. I'd like to get to talk to my fellow DDLC companions, whatever. Some word that began with the C. Anyway, I'm going to leave this now, because, as I've said before, through the entire making of this video, I am physically dying in this uniform outfit. This is not the weather to be wearing tight women's clothing, but I'm glad I've got it done, and hopefully I will have it uploaded in time for the 22nd. I'm also working on I was also working on the Song of Saya part 2, so that should maybe be out before or after. And I've got my friend Dialect Dim to edit the Spider-Man Miles Morales playthrough. So however long he takes with that, I still have videos to upload. But I wanted to work on this in time for the 6th anniversary of DDLC. So yeah, thank you for watching. Nothing else to say. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Hey, hello there! If you'd like to watch another video, click here. And click here to subscribe for something new every so often. Please and thank you.